Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about a couple of more things related to dependency injection and how actually the dependency works in the background, where there are like couple of more things apart from a simple object creation. So something interesting will be covered, and mainly we will check the Autowire thing, and this would be an introductory video to auto wiring. Alright, now friends, before we start with this actual concept, first of all let me discuss about few more things. As of now I have simply copied the previous project, and this is simply a new copy of the previous project with the exact same files. So we have the exact same files in here. Nothing has been changed from the last video. Now friends, you can easily make out that the JRE system library is J2SE, which is definitely a very old version of Java. Java 5 is definitely very old. And if I show you the pom.xml, in here there is no configuration related to Java. As a result, the default version which is used in this project is Java 5, which is ancient, which is very old. So let us do something about it. Now in here what we have seen, we can simply navigate to build path and fix the build path, but there is an alternate way. Now in here let me show you. In here there is this very short and simple article where we only have this property thing. There is only these 4 lines. Let me copy this, and these are what? These are like properties which we can explicitly specify in our pom.xml. And these property needs to be added just before these dependencies. So let me quickly add these. Here we go. Let me format things a little and let me save this. And in here I will right click, navigate to Maven and update the project. Now what happens is it will simply update the Java version to Java 11. Now as of now there is some compatibility issue, and if we make it as a Java 12, which is the latest version of Java, it will not work in fact. So if I navigate to Maven and update the project, it won't work. Now maybe later down the line with the updated version of Maven, updated version of Spring Tool Suite, this issue might be fixed, but as of now we can only update the version of Java till version 11. So as of now, in order to safeguard Java version, I will give the version as 11. Let me update this, and our application will still run, and it won't have any effect. Let me quickly run the app.java file, and let me show you. Our application will still work, but we will go further than this. Even though we have added the configuration in our pom.xml, but we won't be restricted to the setting only. We will quickly update the build path, and how we can do it? Very simple. We will double click on this Java version, which is Java SE 11, and we will make use of workspace default JRE. If it is not showing JDK 12 in your STS Spring Tool Suite, then you can simply click on this and click on install JRE and configure this. And this is something I have already shown you how to add an installation directory. Simply click on add standard VM and browse the system and give the path as Java 12 in here. So this is fairly straightforward. It would be like this. Select folder and it will simply give. Now this is already in use, so it won't add, but this is the way how we can do it. Alright, so coming back to the original point, we will simply make use of the workspace default JRE, which is JDK 12. Alright, let me save the changes, and you can see the change in here, and now we are making use of JDK 12. The bottom line is that we are trying to use the latest version of Java, and our application will be still feasible for the lower version of Java like Java 1.8 or later version of Java. Our application will and should work fine. Alright, now coming back to the original point, let me try to show you the application. In here, this is our what we say class with the main method, and in here we are simply creating a new object of car type, and we are making use of this car.class reference, and we are giving the name of the bean. Let me show you the bean as well. So in here, if we check, we have this Corolla.java, which is this bean, and which is very simple. And in here we are simply displaying one line, which is very simple as of now. But in general scenario, in our day-to-day programming, the scenario, the situation, the program will be fairly complicated when compared to this, right? So in here, let me add a yet another complexity. So in here, for example, we have a class by the name of engine, right? And we have a variable or a object by the name of engine. Here we go. And let me quickly create this class. Create class engine, and this class will not have a main method, but this class will have a property by the name of string type, right? And definitely there is this typo, string type, and we will have a default constructor. So let me right click, navigate to source, generate constructor using superclass, and here is the default constructor, and inside this default constructor we will type what? Type equals, as of now we will simply set this property as V8. For example, the type of the engine is V8. Later down the line we will fix this class and make this class more sophisticated, but that is something which we will do later. Alright, and let us quickly create getters and setters for this. Alright, so this is fairly straightforward. We have a class, and in here we are playing with a property. Cool enough. Let us navigate to the app. Pardon me. Let us navigate to this bean, which is Corolla.java. And in here, what we will do is inside this what we say, inside this method, specs method, we will create a string, and it would be like specs equals, and we will use this text sedan from Toyota, and we will also make use of this engine object, engine dot get type. So apart from this text, we will also display the type of engine. So it would be like sedan from Toyota with engine type as, and we will call in the type method, and finally we will return specs, right? Fair enough. So now we have made some changes in here, and now again if I run this app, what would be the outcome? Let me run this application, and there is this null pointer exception. Well, fair enough. The reason why there is a null pointer exception, you might have guessed it, because we haven't made use of the new keyword in here, right? So let us create an object of engine type, and we would be able to run our application without any issue now, and our application will give us a proper result, right? So let me show you the console. Proper result. Now till now things are very simple and there is no rocket science, but with the current approach, the current way of handling stuff, there is a issue. Now what is the issue? In here we are working on inversion of control, where we would like to give the control to Spring so that Spring can optimize and we can have a modular design. But in here, if we check this class Corolla.java, in here indeed we are manually creating a object. This is not cool, right? So in here we are doing what? We are doing a partial inversion of control, where this object, the object of Corolla type, is being created by Spring, but inside this object there is a yet another object by the name of engine, and this engine is being created by us manually. Now there comes the issue. in here this approach is not good. What could be a issue? Because when we are doing it manually, the errors which we get can't be very readable. Sometimes Spring won't be able to let us know what exactly is going wrong. As a result, it is always good to make use of the Spring way of handling things, right? So when we are making use of inversion of control, it is good to invert the control completely to Spring, and that is something which we will do now. So in here we will ask Spring to inject this engine object to this reference directly, and this is fairly straightforward. First of all, we need to do a small little thing. We will mark this class as a component. So let me quickly do that. And as soon as we mark this class as a component, as a result, Spring can create an object of this class. So we are marking this as a component. As a result, a object can be created, but still in here we have a reference. Now in order to allow Spring to create a object whenever there is a requirement for this reference, there is a annotation again which is auto-wired. So now what happens is, whenever we are making use of this engine dot type, this reference engine will be injected with a object of engine type, and we would be able to run our application without an issue. So let me show you. If I run this application, definitely we are able to run our application without an issue. So this is the usage of Autowire. Here we go. And definitely if you argue that why to use Autowire instead of manually creating an object, again the reason is we want the inversion of control, and if we are making use of the Spring way, we should use it properly. Then only we would be able to use the full power of Spring, full power of dependency injection, full power of making use of components in our application, and it could be even more easier for us to handle stuff. Imagine we need not to worry about objects and all those kind of stuff. With only one setting change, with only one only one name change, our application will start behaving like a different application. Now Spring definitely enables us to create a application based on component, and we can replace or reuse or make use of different components in different scenarios. That is the beauty of a Spring. And in order to take the full power of Spring, definitely Autowire is important. And the most important benefit of Autowire is error handling. Whenever we are dealing with a Spring application, error handling or handling the exception or debugging the code could be tedious, right? So how to handle the error by the programmer? I am not talking about exception handling, I am talking about crashes, errors which occurs to a developer. Whenever we wish to debug, we get a proper result, proper logs, proper console log when we make use of Autowire instead of new keyword, instead of creating an object manually. So that is the greatest benefit of Autowire. In our next video, we will check the different scenarios where we can make use of Autowire, and how we can fully get rid of the new keyword, and how we can use the inversion of control to the maximum extent. Alright, so having said this is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.